Female sexuality. Hello, everyone. This is Tarisha, and today I want to talk about myths about sexuality, especially female sexuality. And the myth number one is spontaneous desire. And that means that we expect ourselves to feel sexual desire no matter what happens on the outside. And it does happen when we're younger, and it does happen for some women, but quite often the older we get, we experience responsive desire, which means our desire happens when we respond to our partner, especially when we respond to the sense of emotional connection, emotional intimacy with our partner. So if you're judging yourself, like I don't feel that desire anymore, what it means is that maybe there's nothing to respond to. Maybe you need to establish more emotional connection to your partner, and then the desire will come back. So check in with yourself if you judge yourself, if you feel like, well, maybe I'm too old and that's why. And maybe, just maybe, it's that you don't have that emotional capacity, emotional connection with yourself or emotional connection with your partner, and that's why your desire is not there. Then myth number two is that our partners are responsible for our pleasure. And I wonder if you believe that, and maybe notice what happens inside when you believe that. And I know that quite often what women share with me is that they expect their partner to know what they need, and they don't feel pleasure because their partner they're just not good lovers, or they don't know what to do with them. So it's very important to actually take the power in our hands and feel like I'm responsible for my own pleasure. I need to find what fulfills me. I need to find what I desire, what I want, and then share it with my partner. And it's so important. And that's the scary piece, right? If I really deeply connect to my desire, it's so vulnerable to share that with our partners, because it's like, oh, what if they're going to reject me, right? And so we hide our desires, and we hope that our partners somehow are going to figure it out and fulfill us. And then we start to feel resentful because they can't figure us out. And we feel like, well, if they really loved us, then they would know what I need, what I want. Yeah. So please don't feel like your partner is responsible for your pleasure. Find out what your desires are. Find out what you want, what fulfills you. And then the next step is actually to share that with your partner. The next myth is that desire dies with age. And this I hear again and again, or that our desire depends on our hormones, and once we go through menopause, the desire is not there. To which I say is that we don't desire what's on the menu. It's more that we need to expand our menu. And quite often is that we want more emotionally connected intimacy. And then our desire comes back, right? So check in with yourself. If you believe that your desire is dying with age, what happens? And quite often we start to feel like, hopeless and powerless and resentful. Yeah. So that's not true. The next one is that sex takes energy. And I don't believe that, because I actually see that it gives us energy. It can open us up, it can nourish us, it can fill us up with love, with connection. And if we feel like sex takes energy, it actually quite often what it means is that we believe that sexual intimacy is there for orgasms. And when we focus on orgasms, and it's like, oh, this is too much hard work and I'm not sure if it's going to happen, and so that takes energy. But if we focus on pleasure and connection and just relaxing into who we are and authentically sharing who we are, then it doesn't take energy. It actually fulfills us. It opens us up. It feels so good. And next one is that we're only attractive when we're young. And what I really see working with women, that what becomes attractive about us with age is actually our authentic expression, is our radiance. And when we're younger, we count on our good looks, how good we look, on our skin, but not so much on who we are, on our beauty rather than our radiance. And when we age, we actually need to find the radiance inside. How do I actually connect to my life force and then share that with other people? And our heart, our wisdom, our experience, that's what becomes really attractive. So don't think if you are past a certain age, then that's it, right? I'm not attractive anymore. That's just BS. That's not true. But find what actually fills me up and find that source of your inner radiance. And it's always there within you. It doesn't matter how old we are. That radiance is right there within us. So it's more about accessing it. How do I find that radiance inside? Yeah. And so I'm doing my 10-week course, Sexually Empowered Radiant Woman course. And if you want to find your own inner radiance, if you want to find your authentic voice and know how to express your desires, know how to invite your partner into being there with you, right, into emotionally connected intimacy, then I do invite you to just private message me, and we can just have a conversation and to see if that's the right next step for you. And I'm just finishing the course now. This week is going to be my last week of the 10-week course, and this new one I start end of September. And it's just amazing how much women transform and how much they experience and how they start to connect to their desire, how they're just driving their cars, they start to feel, whoa, I feel the desire inside of me. And also beautiful to see how their partners respond, that actually they see that in them, that shift that happens, that they start to open up, like beautiful flowers. Doesn't matter our age, shape or size, that when we connect to that energy inside, it's so attractive, it's so beautiful, and it fulfills us so much. So if you're interested, if you think that could be your next step, just message me. We can have a short chat and just see if that's the right next step for you, because it's amazing how this work is just so transformational. And in the course I talk about we do it in 5 steps, and the first step is to actually create a new story, is actually to really step into what's possible for me. Like when I stop giving up, right? But what's actually possible for me? What does it actually mean for me to be a sexually empowered radiant woman? Yeah, it's big words, but once we feel it, once we know what it is, it's like, wow, I really want that. And so in the next step, step 2, what we do is we work with our inner critic. We release shame, judgments, guilt, maybe past traumatic experiences. So we really work deeply on transforming that, because we can't experience fulfilling intimacy on top of trauma or criticizing ourselves. Because to experience fulfilling intimacy, we actually need to be inside the body. We need to feel comfortable inside of ourselves. And so it's crucial to work with our inner critic, to work with past trauma, to let go of that. And so then we go to the next step where we connect to our body, because the pleasure is in the body. Physical intimacy is in the body. So we really connect to that ancient wisdom of our body, open her secrets, and let our body guide us. And the more we open up, the more comfortable we feel inside ourselves, the more at peace we feel, the more we can open up and experience deeper intimacy. And then we go to next step. Step 4 is sacred sexuality practices, connecting to the beauty, to the power, to the magic of our sexuality. And it's right there within every woman. Haven't seen a woman without that power, but we're learning how to actually access that. And I give lots of practices, and different practices work for different women, so it's very unique. My approach is kind of I really work with every single woman to find out what actually she needs to connect to that power, to the beauty of her sexuality. And so then we create that radiance map, I call it, that practice, sustainable practice that you do on an everyday basis, which takes 5-15 minutes, that you can expand your radiance. And it's all in the practice, right? And we can't shift without actually committing to the practice. So it's really important to actually sit with yourself and, feel like into it. Do I really want to shift my sexual experience? When I'm on my deathbed, do I want to feel like, wow, I actually really experienced that deep emotional sexual connection with someone? Or is it something that's just not so interesting for me? Yeah. So once you're clear, and if that's what you really want, to have that different experience of sexual intimacy, of deep connection with another human, and maybe even with yourself, right? Because even when you connect with yourself sexually, you can have these deeper emotional, spiritual experiences. And if that's what you want to experience, just PM me. You can email me at tarisha@radiantwoman.co.nz, and we can just have a quick chat and see, right, if we can work together, if that's where you need to go. And big hug. I'll find out how to stop that. Bye.